So here's a drone shot from the Palisades in LA from earlier today. Looks kind of reminiscent of Gaza, so keep that in mind when we're talking about capitalism and imperialism. 1/10,000th of the horror, still part of the same system. Let's get into it. Here in LA pointed out that 23 million was cut from the LA Fire Department budget, amongst other departments, so they could give the LAPD 138 million increase, even though crime is lower and has decreased and there are fewer cops. So we know that cops are all about union busting and property and scab defense, but we have to remember that their roots are as a counterinsurgency force, both in Northern Ireland, veterans of which joined and founded the the London Metropolitan Police, and out of slave patrols in the Caribbean and Carolinas, which were another counterinsurgency force. So as things get worse and people get more desperate and more violent, the ruling class is going to need more cops to put down dissent and to protect property. Now, when it comes to underfunding the fire department, well, the easiest way or the best way to degrade confidence in an institution, especially a government institution, is to underfund it. See what's happening with the Department of Education. So if during a crisis people see that the fire department can't handle it, and the state's paying for it, our tax dollars are paying for it, well, if a government can't do it, privatize it. And a lot of rich people lost their homes in the Palisades. So what are we going to see soon? Real estate CEO and resident of the Palisades who apparently lost his house, Keith Wasserman, who's blocked me. Does anyone have access to private firefighters to protect our home in Pacific Palisades? We need to act fast here. All neighbors' houses are burning. We'll pay any amount. Thank you. So there's going to be a massive push to privatize the fire department. It's going to maybe, I don't know how it would look like, but I guess the business model would be like you pay a subscription service, like an insurance premium, and you'll be covered in network. Speaking of not being covered anymore, a lot of the fire insurance protections by like State Farm in that area were revoked. So a couple months ago, so people are no longer insured, and they've just completely lost their houses. Climate change and capitalism, the main driver of climate change, is making risk impossible to price. So when homes and businesses of millions of Americans become uninsurable, economies and states die. But you can see in this increasingly dystopic future, like in the next 10 years, untold amounts of permanently displaced people who fled from high-risk climate zones, ending up in these refugee camps that our politicians will blithely ignore, just like they do in Palestine. Because they would absolutely allow it to happen to you. They make money off endless wars, and they make money off of increased privatization in all sectors. Because a lot of these people sit on an average of 3 to 4 boards in different economic sectors. So, let's start talking about that in Guillotines 2028.